So
we find ourselves here once more.
I'm not going to lose for the 5th time. I swear to God, if I lose again.
No, but how funny is it going to be if she does lose, though?
Okay, ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Ooh.
Okay.
Like genuine anxiety. Was that English?
Okay. All right, ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
If there is a God.
That hair is almost as big as your ego.
All right, listen. Let's address the hair right now. It's not a wash day. There's a lot of it. You know what it always reminds me of? It makes me think of Cusco from Emperor's New Groove because he wears that like
I didn't see the full extent of your hair.
And it's also just like straight up. Like the side view is, I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. All right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. All right, I'm gonna leave.
Meg, for the 5th time in a row, would you like to tell the audience what we're doing today?
Hey everyone, welcome back to Rated MA. I'm Meg, this is Allie, and today we're going to be continuing our watch of ANDOR Season 1. Today is Episode 7, which is called...
Today's Episode 9.
Oh my god!
Are you looking at the wrong notes?
Yeah, I was on the wrong page. Today, we'll be continuing our ANDOR watch of Season 1, Episode 9, which is titled Nobody's Listening. So if you see Allie and I looking down at any point, same as always, we were just taking notes to be able to have a further discussion at the end of the episode. I think that's about it. So I guess we can just hop right in. Quite the opener.
You must be careful.
I really like her voice.
She could put me to sleep at night. I'd listen to her. ASMR, just...
Everything you've dragged to shore is a fish. Failing that, we have Dr. Gorst, who's developed a unique interview system some of us are
It's sad because he actually looks really nice.
Yeah, he's not, though.
He's not, but he just looks over, he's like, hi.
He's like evil Nemec.
I miss Nemec.
I do too.
Just makes us think there's more to be learned. Park attended a separatist meeting 2 years ago in Jondora where he met a woman who suggested that if he was serious about politics, he might like to act as liaison. Now, this unknown woman, who recruited him to the cause, seemed less interested in generating political activity on Ferrix than she was in using your planet's unique commercial position to acquire stolen Imperial equipment. You're in my net, Biggs. Are you a fish or are you a thief? You will be giving me a full, detailed accounting of every single piece of stolen Imperial equipment you've passed along, where it came from, who was bribed along the way, and where it is gone.
She plays a really, really good villain.
Yeah.
He says you sit up on that radio for hours at a time.
Alex Ovechkin scored 2 goals tonight in the first game of the Stanley Cup playoffs. And they won. Oh, also, guys, I got an Ovi tattoo. Can you guys see that? There's a lot of things that are happening right now.
I was literally just about to comment about how this woman could literally ruin my life.
I'd let her.
Trying to win your freedom.
Yeah.
I want to see her in, like, films, though. Like, it's actually kind of surprising to me because I think she's an incredible actress that she hasn't made her way to, like, big screen yet.
I'd love to see her in more roles.
I want to see her in a Christopher Nolan film. I love Christopher Nolan. Fun fact about me.
Honestly, I'd rather be in Cassian's shoes right now than Bix's.
Yeah, Cassian is actually safer than Bix is right now, which is kind of crazy.
It's probably a blessing that he got arrested and put in this prison right now.
You might need some help. The twitch. What? Come on. Right, yeah. Switch up. Why? Keep this fast. There's a better way of saying that.
Keep is fast. There's a better way of saying that.
You are the next man out. You are the shortest of the short. Swap your idea. Me? No. Tiger. Are you kidding? Turn. Wise move. Olaf is going home.
That was interesting that Cassian gave the other guy credit for that move.
Yeah.
I am assuming it's because he doesn't want to draw attention to himself, but it is for someone as selfish as him. It's fascinating that he did that.
They make a sound as they die, a sort of choral, agonized pleading. It's quite unlike anything anyone has ever heard before.
You can tell he's messed up in the head.
Yeah, this guy's fucked out of his mind.
Oh.
Doesn't take long. It won't feel that way to you. Oh, and if you're having difficulty speaking, just shake your head from side to side.
You'll want to be sure of that, Bix. That you're cooperating fully. It's repeat listenings that cause the most damage.
Ah. Extreme close-ups, man, can be such a amazing tool to use.
It can be so good.
They're totally not gonna come into play later. Hell yeah.
2 men back. 2 weapons. No boots. Silence! He's touching the rail.
Believe me now, the elevator's not wide. Nothing that moves can fry you.
Huh.
I have a new idea. Don't wait. We attack while they're coming down.
I am so excited for the next episode. You cannot believe it.
It's gonna be so good.
It's gonna be so fucking good.
I can do it. I know.
Aw.
Ready up. I'm ready. Ready now.
I love Cassian.
You can tell Cassian's really worried about him.
I stand here today to speak with senators who've come with open minds. Those of you who still believe that when we enter this building, we are in a temple.
Poor Mon.
There's a sign language again.
Here forever if they wanted.
It's enough from you, Melshi. Right, everybody.
Melshi just always starting shit. I love him.
Level 2. He's coming this way around now. What's he saying?
Oh.
Something's really wrong on 2.
You haven't got a clue what they are saying. Level 2, far side. Level 2. Are you all scrambled or something? It takes a week for one word to get all the way up here, and you're panicking about something that's happening on the other side of the building.
Damn. What do you think's going through his mind right now?
Cassian or Kino?
Cassian.
He knows something's wrong,
Mhm.
but he doesn't know what. Yeah, he knows something is really, really wrong.
Aunt been to Tassia Moon. Look what she brought me.
Your father may have an opinion. We'll see if he lets you wear it.
He lets me do anything I want.
And that's why you're spoiled.
Why don't you go try it on?
Well, look who's here.
Traveling 6 months. There's a lot to see. I don't have enough to worry about.
Rich girl running away from her family.
She's a Mothma.
Gaping.
You know I won't answer that.
Oh, no wonder he hates Melshi. He's his roommate.
Think what you like. You flap that mouth if it was any longer, you'll regret it.
I'm sure you've thought about it. How many guards on each level?
How many guards on each level?
That is a great shot, by the way. I love that shot.
I know. I love all the angles in it.
That's so cool. Multiple focal points. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need to care. All they need to do.
That's
is
a good
check
shot,
this room
too.
Twice a day.
Still follows your rule of thirds, kids. Always follow your rule of thirds.
Nobody's listening. Nobody. How many guards on each level?
Not gonna lie, I think I would take a fat nap on that bed. That kind of looked a little comfortable.
Like, low-key, as far as prison cells go, it's not that bad.
What sucks is that you don't have like a door and everyone sees everything.
Yeah, when you're taking a shit, Melshi is sitting on the upper bunk just like watching.
She's the reason Andor came back.
Perhaps they communicate.
If they are, we'll know. We're on her full time.
She is having way too much fun with that.
We need to be careful. The less they think we know, the better.
He's got a point.
Tighten up and listen. It's a rumor. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. We have heard nothing.
At least he's listening to Cassian fucking finally.
Yeah, seriously. Back to cereal.
Something I should know.
I told you not to leave dinner out last night.
Her message was so brief. One worries. You're so busy these days. Perhaps you're forgetting to eat.
She loves those heels.
Mm-hmm.
It's called cleaning. I like a tidy house.
You've been in my private box.
You've been in my private box.
Find yourself a husband?
Wasn't on my list of things to do.
Well, you need a widower at this point. Who's left of any value at your age?
Yes, all the good ones are taken.
I hate him.
I want him to die horrifically. I want him to fall out of his fucking car and plummet 6,000 feet until he becomes nothing more than atoms on the pavement of Coruscant. In fact, fuck his daughter too. She can die too for all I care. I don't like her that much either.
What have we done, Val? We've chosen a side. We're fighting against the dark. We're making something of our lives.
Yeah, the reveal that Vel was related to Mon was so interesting. I totally did not see it coming at all.
I will say, I think the cinematography, I mean, it's been great the past couple episodes, but this episode, for some reason, is just really,
It's been especially good.
yeah, scratching my brain just the right way.
I needed to find you, and it's not that easy to thank you for what you did and what you're doing. And to follow on, try to follow on the conversation we had last month.
That wasn't a conversation. You were brought in for questioning.
You could tell when he said that she became a little attracted to him.
Yeah, they're so freak for freak. Like, they totally match each other's energy. Low-key Star Wars power couple. Like, you think Anakin and Padme? No, it's Cyril and Deirdre.
Just being in your presence, I realized that life was worth living.
He had one conversation and said, "My life is worth living." When will a man say that to me? Actually, ladies, if a man says that to you in real life, run.
You come near me again, you pursue any of this, and I swear I'll have you in a cage on the outer rim.
He's just gonna like that. Don't threaten him with a good time, Deirdre.
Good news for you, Deirdre. He's into that.
Get Dr. Gorst. Send him out there immediately.
I already did. He's on his way. Do you want to go?
She's finally being listened to, the biggest turn on ever.
Yes, men, if you want to turn on your women, just listen to what they're talking about.
I need a loan.
A certain kind of loan.
You seem to have thought this through.
There's a plot thread that hasn't come up yet, and I was wondering how it tied back in. I had forgotten, but this is it.
You have someone in mind,
It's not a long list.
and yet you're afraid to say who it is.
Davos Calden.
He is not a banker. He's a thug.
Good job, Cassian.
He's still hot as fuck.
Oh my God.
Just in case I haven't said it in a while.
Yeah, we haven't said that yet this episode.
Here's your daily reminder that Cassian Andor is hot as hell.
My heart breaks so badly for him.
Hang in there, Raph. You've only got a few shifts left. You're going home.
Yeah, I
Aw.
think they said, Deirdre said earlier that her conversation with Cyril had been over a month ago. So I'm assuming more like weeks have passed since last episode and now.
It's probably in what would you think, like month 2?
I would posit maybe even 3 at this point or more.
He seems to have really settled into like a routine and everything. So it seems like, yeah, that month 3 would be definitely more accurate.
Yeah, because it's hard to keep the passage of time here because it's monotonous. Cyril and Deirdre talked, and it had been like 4 or 5 weeks, maybe.
And Cassian was
So
already in his 1 month.
Cassian had already gone through an entire month, so he's easily into month 3, if not 4.
Only got 40 shifts left.
Only 40?
Well, they talked to him earlier, and he had like 90, I thought. So that's 50 days. That's 2 months. So this is easily month 3, if not month 4.
He's got 40 shifts left. So we just want something to get him through the next few days. He's had a massive stroke.
Oh.
What are you doing? I can't help him. I can't help anyone. I need a bag and a trolley.
It's coming.
They're just leaving.
Now.
If it was released, you heard me.
You go right back in.
How many guards on each level?
Never more than 12.
Never more than 12.
12.
Oh, that is one of my favorite scenes in this whole fucking show. Ugh, I love this fucking show so much.
It's so good. I'm so excited for season 2. Like, I can't even.
Yeah, for everyone watching, season 2 comes out tomorrow night for us. It is April 21st right now.
And guess what we'll be doing tomorrow? A binge watching.
Yeah, we'll be watching the first 3 episodes tomorrow. We're very excited.
So, Allie, I'm going to take your words this episode. It's going to be 9 episodes. That was.
Look at her, guys. She's growing. She's growing.
It's the hosting. It's the 5 times of hosting that has gotten me here.
When you become the perma host and we stop doing rock, paper, scissors,
I'll host if you lead notes. I do not like leading notes. I'm not. Molly. She's
Hi,
having
Molly.
a fit. Oh, there she is.
oh, she's just gonna hang out in the background. Hi, Mo.
Hello. Oh, she winked.
She's so smileys.
Yeah. Hi, Molly.
Look at her. She's so cute.
She is so cute. She's just gonna hang out the rest of the episode, maybe.
Yeah.
Until she gets annoyed with us. So that was Andor, season 1, episode 9. Nobody's watching. What did you think?
Nobody's listening.
You said nobody's watching. I said that in the intro.
Editor, play it back. Nobody's listening.
Just titled Nobody's Listening. Never mind. I'm never gonna become the perm host.
I thought this episode was great, Meg.
So it will be all Allie with her notes because I cannot speak anymore.
This is one of my favorite episodes of this season. It's interesting. I talked about this a little bit in one of the first couple episodes during the very first arc about how the show, because it is comprised of 4 arcs, no, 4? Yeah, 4
Yep.
arcs told over 3 episode sections equals 12. I got there eventually. Because this is told over 4 arcs, there are, in theory, 5 different story circles that we're going through. One for arc 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then 1 also for the entire season as a whole. Why are you making that face?
Because I looked back where I messed up and I put episode 7 and I put the right title, said nobody's listening. And
I
then
told you.
Rewrote it.
As
But
nobody's
nobody's
watching.
watching.
Megan's having a good one tonight, guys. Back to my story circles and my story paths. Because this is the middle of the arc, this is the culmination leading up to the climax. So of course it's going to be tense and dramatic. This is episode 2, this is episode 5, and now this is episode 9. This is how this breakdown normally tends to happen. This is technically the end of this arc because then it goes 10, 11, and 12 is the final one, but I consider all of Narkina 5 like one big arc, to be completely fair. The next episode is my favorite of the entire season. I have not been shy about that. I've said that many, many, many a times. The Eye is my second favorite episode. This might be my third favorite.
It is a really good one.
It was a really good episode. I liked it. What about you? What'd you think, Meg?
I also liked it. I thought it was great. I will agree with you. This is probably one of my tops. I thought it had like a lot of really good tie-ins where you can kind of see like the plots kind of like intertwining, like different storylines are kind of becoming connected into one. Like with Vel being Mon Mothma's sister.
Mm-hmm. You didn't see me just eat a Smartie out of my bra. It's fine.
I saw it. So, but then now, Cyril and Deirdre are becoming a little bit more intertwined. So those are two different paths that are now colliding. So you see all these different pieces of the story and they're all going together in a puzzle and it's all starting to kind of map out and everything. So I really, really love that about this episode. The cinematography, can we talk about that for a second? This episode?
Absolutely, please.
So good. I don't know what noise I just made, but it's staying. And the framing, like how they, did the rule of thirds. I loved like the different focal points in it. Like whenever Cassian and Kino and I can do it. Melshi.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes. All of them together in their cells. I thought that was a phenomenal shot. I loved it. It was probably one of my favorite shots in the entire episode.
Yeah, same. I would 100% agree with that.
Yeah. Whoever did this episode, I want to look up, but amazing, amazing, amazing job. I was just captured by it. So also camera capture, haha, play on words funny. But I will say I am convinced that one of the reasons why Kino maybe gets really irritated with Melshi is that I'm convinced that Melshi sits on top of the bunk and then makes comments whenever Kino's taking a shit.
Melshi does seem to have like he does seem to just like make comments like he can't hold his tongue, which is really funny because I don't remember him being like that in Rogue One, but when we do eventually rewatch Rogue One at some point, I will be on the lookout to see if Melshi is still characterized like that because it's the same writer, same director, so same direction for an actor and same writer for an actor. So I'm curious to see if Tony Gilroy was like, how can I make Melshi more interesting? Let's make him kind of a punk bitch, like,
Okay, it was really sad at the end whenever he passed away.
When Olaf passed?
Yeah, and he kind of just like put him out of his misery because no one is getting out. But he's like, I can't help him. I can't help anyone. And then they're just kind of like, what do you mean by that?
Hey, what the fuck does that mean, bro?
That was really a sad scene. My heart got it sunk.
Oh.
And I was just like, I remember he died. I do remember that. And I knew it was coming, but I forgot how emotional that scene was. He was like, no one's getting out. We're all stuck there. But you can tell in that very moment, like whenever they're walking away, Kino's like, I'm done with this shit. I'm done. Like, yeah. He's over it.
The thing with Kino in that scene is so interesting is that Kino sees himself in Olaf because Olaf is supposed to leave and then Kino is supposed to leave like right behind him. Kino's whole thing is like he needs everyone to stay in shape, and that's particularly why he probably doesn't like Cassian or Melshi, is because they are actively trying to get out of this prison, but they haven't been there as long as he has, and their hope hasn't been crushed like his has, but his has been completely decimated because he's probably been in here, we can assume, for a few years or maybe even longer. For him, I think that Kino sees himself in Olaf and he's like, what if this is me? Like, what if I have 20 days left and this happens to me? Are you telling me you can't save me? And the doctor basically looks at him and is like, yeah, like no one's getting out. No one can be saved. Like, you think you're done, you're not. And I think that's the moment of like, why have I been playing the system when the system was never going to play fair? Which ties back into what Nemec told Cassian. The Empire is never going to play fair, so why should we? And then it was something, I think, I'm trying to remember who said it. Someone said it where they said, why would you build a weapon if you're not going to use it?
It was Luthen.
I think it was Luthen that said that. Yeah, like who's going to build a weapon that no one's going to use or something. It's all like thematically, it's all tying together, and Cassian knows it, and now it's his turn to show someone else that like this is not a fair fight, and it was never a fair fight when we started. You are playing by the rules, and by doing so you are letting them win. And this is the moment, this is why it's partly why it's one of my favorite scenes, because that moment of realization is so good, and I love moments of realization in film and TV. But he has that moment, and Cassian asks him the question he's been asking him the whole episode: how many guards on each level? Never more than 12. So good.
It's like there he is, because he finally just gives in and he breaks and he's like, this is fucked.
Yeah, he's pissed off. Flip the table.
Yeah. I also it also ties into the whole line of like oppression breeds rebellion. They're oppressed here. I mean, a prison, you're oppressed. You're dehumanized, like all of these different things. So clearly no one's getting out. They're all like, all right, it's go time. Do we also know what Kino did to end up there?
No, I don't think so. I can check the wiki real quick. I'll check the Wikipedia.
Yeah, I'm just
Kino,
curious.
I think his name is Kino Loy. Yep, it sure is. Yeah, no, it doesn't say why he was in prison, and I don't think he ever tells Cassian, because I don't think you know why Melshi's there either.
I also searched it, but my phone corrected it to why was Keanu arrested. It was a DUI. So
Free my man Keanu.
back to you, Allie.
Sure. So we met Dr. Gorst, who is the torture doctor employed by Deirdre. Specifically, I think in terms of what his torture is, I really like the approach that they took of it is a sound so painful, it brings you psychic damage, like psychological damage, basically. And I actually remember an interview with Tony Gilroy and some of the other creators of the show where they actually talked about adding sound to that scene to like kind of show what Bix was hearing, but thought that the silence was more powerful, which I think it is. And I actually think the silence was the better choice, because you know some asshole out there is going to hear it, be like, that doesn't sound bad. Like, why would that fuck her up that bad? And the silence is better. And we talked about this in another episode too, of like what the human imagination does is sometimes worse than reality. So
Yeah.
what we are imagining she's hearing, that is what makes it work.
Yeah.
You know, and so that was, I made a note about how we've talked about this before too, about how silence is very powerful when used correctly. And I think this is another example that this show in particular has of using silence in a correct way.
Honestly, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, silence, it can be a very, very powerful tool, especially if used right. And the whole thing is like every person, that sound is going to sound different to us in our heads that she's hearing that is so torturous. Like you said, there's going to be someone out there being like, oh, well, that wasn't that bad. This eliminates that, which makes it like even more impactful.
I also had a note that Deirdre mentioned, which was that Pack, who was the owner of the radio tower, who had the tower where Bix was going to communicate with Luthen. His name is Pack or Park. I think I wrote down Pack, but I'm not 100% sure. I think it's Pack. I don't know. Please forgive us if it's wrong. I think it's PAK is what I wrote down. But Pack, we found out in this episode, met up with Clea, Luthen's assistant. She is the one who gave him the radio. She is the one who put up this network. I had this thought in another episode, and I don't know if I ever actually said it. I think Clea's really the one leading the circus, and I think Luthen is the ringman, like the ringmaster, in that he is the face of everything, and I think Clea is the one,
like the mastermind behind it all.
Yeah, working everything in the background. Because what I know of season 2, which we'll find out tomorrow, very excited, is that Clea apparently has a much bigger role in season 2. And a lot of people are saying that she is like a standout character. So I am assuming that Clea is a key figure in this rebellion. And I think she is using Luthen the same way Luthen is using Cassian and everyone else. Because I think specifically back to the scene where she told him to shut down the communications radio after Cassian went missing, after he got arrested. And Bix was calling to see if anyone had seen him. And she told Luthen, tell me to shut it down. Like, I'll do it and we should do it, but you need to be the one to tell me. I kind of feel like, I don't know that she's manipulating him necessarily. I won't go to say that far, but I do get the sense that Clea is much more important than we were originally led to believe that he is, or she is his assistant. You know what I mean?
No, that is actually a really interesting theory. And you're probably right. And we'll definitely find a lot more out in season 2. So that's going to be very, very interesting to see and see how she develops and changes her input and how much of an impact she has in on season 2.
Another note that I had was that Cassian has a plan for escape. We learned that in this episode. You see him talking with another inmate about the elevator shaft that brings down the guards and the new people, the new inmates on the floor, and how Cassian seems to be working on something in the bathroom where he seems to be trying to saw through a pipe, which Meg and I know it's for because we remember the scene. For he's trying to bust the pipe open so he can flood the floor. Spoiler alert, it works. We see the beginnings of that, and it's such a nice reminder that Cassian Andor is never gonna fucking roll over and take it. He might seem like he's lost all hope, but he hasn't. He's too cunning, he's too savvy, he's not gonna stay in that prison forever. That's one of the reasons I love him so much. So we know Cassian's got a plan, and we know finally that Kino is on board. And the next episode, which is the best episode of the season,
I love this man.
I know. It's gonna be good, folks. It's gonna be good. I have also too another note when they were talking about what was happening on level 2. We found out that they killed 100 men on level 2 because of, like we talked about earlier, they released someone from level 4 only to put him on level 2. And he immediately turned around and said, "Huh?" And they fried the entire bridge and killed 100 men night and day shift. And now everyone has found out about it, and everyone is terrified of falling out of line. And Cassian was the one that gave Kino the advice of, it's just another shift. We don't know anything. The less they think we know, the better, is what he said.
Let me ask you this. If they did not do that and did not kill, or let's just say all the word did not get out that that happened, if Olaf still died, that, in my opinion, would not have had the same impact. I don't think it would have just been like, oh, that's so sad. He only had this many left. But they had no idea that people were going to not being able to leave. It was like the perfect storm, kind of everything we talked about before. They got killed. That person wasn't released. They went back in. It was all the mixture. So at least that's my opinion on it. What's yours?
I think it is the killing of the men on second floor is necessary for Kino to turn point. Because Kino, if Olaf had just died, it's easy to excuse it as he's old.
Yeah.
He's old, he's under a lot of stress. We don't know how long he's been there, but he's been there a while.
I feel like Kino came in when he was already there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the opinion that I get. And obviously, we don't know. I mean, he could have gotten there a day before Cassian did. But based on the fact that Cassian's sentence, which was originally 6 months, got turned into 6 years, we can only guess what might have put other people in this jail as well. And so, also, too, one of the requirements for Narkina 5 is that they are fit to work. So, if he was put there when he was younger, when he was still more physically abled and fit, that would make sense that he had been there a much longer time. Without the deaths of the other people and without the knowledge that they released someone from a floor and put them on another floor, I don't know that Kino would have had that, because Kino still would have thought, and I don't know that he would have believed it, but it is delusion that is driving him, that I'm going to get out. This is how I get out, is by keeping my head buried in the sand and doing what I'm told, and I'll get out. As long as I'm doing what they tell me to do, I'm going to get out. And then you have this man who's old and frail, but is doing the work every day, is showing up for his shifts, doesn't cause any trouble, is working with his team, who dies on the floor, and he's the lucky one. And it's like, it is necessary and vital for Kino. And because of that, it is vital for Cassian, because Cassian can't do this without Kino. So it is, unfortunately, it had to happen. And if it hadn't, I don't know if they would have gotten out when they did. Maybe eventually, but I don't know that their plan would have worked, because they needed Kino.
Everyone on level 2 was anemic.
Yeah, basically. They are plot devices that needed to die in order to set other characters on the right course.
I miss Nemec. I'm going to say that every episode.
I also miss Nemec. We know that Mon Mothma needs a loan to get her money out, her funds out, from a guy named Gulden, who seems to be some sort of crime boss back on Chandrilla. And then the last major note that I have is that Deirdre picks up Krieger's pilot, which is a name that we've heard before. Luthen mentioned to Saw Gerrera that he needed to work with Krieger, and Saw refused, which means that we know Krieger is within the rebellion sphere circle, in that he is maybe a part of a group that works alongside Saw Gerrera or works near him or is in tandem in some way, shape, or form. And yes, that is going to come back into play because Saw and Luthen are going to have a conversation about this pilot getting captured. And I do remember what happens to that. So that was interesting to see. Deirdre is not only picking up the pieces, she's like scooping them up handfuls at a time and putting the puzzle together. And it's coming together a little bit faster than they wanted.
I wanted to talk about Mon Mothma getting booed.
Yeah. Oh, at her Senate conference. Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever they're turning off their their lights, that basically is just kind of like, I'm voting no, or I'm basically not listening to you anymore. Like, I'm stepping out.
As far as we know, I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I've always thought.
My guess is that they're pulling out and they're not going for it. Like, they're like, okay, I'm out. Yeah, that's my guess. Um, Poor Mon Mothma does not deserve that, but I can also completely see her perspective of being like, I'm so done with this place. I'm trying to do something, and these people are so high up in their own asses that they cannot even care. That's all I had to say about that, because Mon Mothma deserves the support and all the love. So
Mon Mothma and Kino are kind of acting as parallels in this episode, in that they are both people who are trying to do the right thing or trying to do the thing that is expected of them for fear of punishment. And both of them have now reached the breaking point of like, oh shit, like I'm going to have to do some horrible things to survive this. It is obviously a much more drastic case for Kino than it is for Mon. But for Mon, I mean, she's talking about doing work with criminals and potentially like thugs or gang affiliates or whatever the equivalent is in this universe. Like, she's going to have to start doing some shady dealings if she wants this rebellion to succeed. And her sitting up there and pleading with people to fucking care, and they're just turning their lights off and ignoring her or booing her. She's like, fuck this noise. I've had enough. And
yeah,
rightfully so. It's interesting to me. They are, Kino and Mon do kind of have parallel arcs, I think, in this episode in particular. Yeah.
they've reached the point where Luthen literally was talking to Mon Mothma after Mon Mothma figured out what Luthen did with Aldani and everything. Is just like, they've reached that point to where Luthen's at.
Well, Luthen is past the point of no return. Luthen is
Extremist for sure.
Yeah, Luthen's on a different scale.
They've gotten to that point of where, like, where Mon Mothma, I think, understands where Luthen is coming from. Like, you kind of have to get your hands dirty because nothing's gonna happen. I can't remember exactly what he says, but I think I wrote it down in a previous note. So we need the fear, we need them. It grows and it dries.
Oh, we need to force the hand.
Yes, we need to force the hand, and that's kind of what's going on.
Yeah, Mon Mothma said Palpatine won't hesitate, basically to launch like a counterstrike. This was right after Aldani, the success of Aldani. This was in episode 7. And he said, good, that's what we need. We need him to do that, and we need him to force the Emperor's hand, basically, is what he said.
Which, in Mon Mothma's case, I think she's definitely seeing that. I mean, of course, like, Kino has no fucking idea about it, but basically it's just, if I'm gonna get out, I have to do it myself.
Right. Yeah, every man for himself, but they're trying to help the collective, but at the same time, they got to help themselves first.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a thought to puzzle at you. I have a question for you.
Bring it on.
In this episode, we found out that Mon Mothma and Vel are cousins and that they are related. We found out that Vel has been spending some time away from home, 6 months to be exact, according to Mon, and that members of the Mothma extended family are getting worried about her. And she encouraged Vel to go home to Chandrila to play her part, to assuage, people's curiosities or whatever. But here's the thing that's interesting to me, and I hadn't thought about this before right now. Mon Mothma and Cassian work together in Rogue One in the days leading up to the battle for the Death Star, the Battle of Yavin, and all that stuff. Mon Mothma and Cassian work together. So we know that Vel is never successful in assassinating Cassian. What happens to Vel and Cinta, who are hunting Cassian down? Because as far as we know, we don't see them after, because this is the only time we've ever met or seen these characters. And I think we are actually going to find out in season 2, because I think that would be too loose of a thread to leave open. But here we have Mon Mothma's cousin is hunting down a guy who eventually will be one of her best like lieutenants. So I'm curious, do you think that Vel and Cinta run away together and leave everything behind? Do you think they join the rebellion? Do you think they find Cassian and catch him and he has to persuade them not to kill him? Like, what do you think is going to happen there? I'm curious about it.
So I see two different directions it can go. I don't think they're going to run away together. I mean, I think their version of running away together is just being together in the rebellion. So I could see them joining the rebellion. Mon Mothma, I think they find Cassian maybe at the camp. Maybe they already joined or something like that. And then they either confront him and they're like, well, you're in it. They probably will have a confrontation, is my guess. And then Mon Mothma may intervene and just kind of like be like, no, we need him, like all of his stuff, and gonna go into those details. But that's my guess, is that maybe it's at the camp. I think they're gonna join the rebellion. I do. I can't just see them running off together like that. I think their plan will be to be together after the rebellion. That might not go smoothly because I guarantee one of them will probably perish, knowing how s- structure and things can be, especially in Star Wars.
I think it'll be Vel.
Really?
I think it's going to be Vel. I don't think it'll be Cinta. Cinta has too much self-preservation. I might eat those words later, but if I had to put money on either Vel or Cinta, I would put my money on Vel. I think we're going to lose a lot of folks next season. I know that Melshi, Mon, and Cassian survive, and K2. Melshi, Mon, Cassian, and K2. I know that the four
Because
of
they
them
make it to
survive.
Rogue One.
They make it to Rogue One. Well, Mon Mothma survives the entire war. Mon Mothma survives all the way through movie 6. So she's good. She's clear. Cassian does not. K2 does not. Melshi does not. But the rest of Mon Mothma does. I think Luthen is dead for sure. I think Vel is probably dead. I mean, Cinta could die too. I would not be surprised if both of them die. I think Bix is gone for sure. Brasso is probably dead. Marva's gonna die at the end of this season, so I'm not even gonna include Marva. I'm not even gonna include her. I think in terms of the fact that Mon Mothma is eventually pushed into the rebellion by things that are happening around her. I believe the Gorman massacre is in like 4 BBY, which means it should be the beginning arc, because the beginning arc is 4 BBY, and then the next arc is 3, next arc is 2, last arc is 1. If the Gorman massacre is 4 BBY, that is when Mon Mothma severs ties from the Senate, and that's when she officially joins the rebellion, denounces Palpatine and all that stuff. So if Vel were to die, I could see that being a push for her, but that would mean Vel would have to die in the first like handful of episodes. I think her chances of survival are slim.
Yeah.
To put it frank.
I don't think she's going to make it out.
I mean, shit, if Cassian didn't have the plot armor of a whole fucking movie from 2016, I would say he's probably dead too. I think everyone but the 4 people I listed earlier are toast.
Which is so sad because I love Bix. But it's going to make so much sense for her to go because her tie with Cassian, she loves him. He probably saw his feelings for her. It's the whole thing.
I could see Bix dying in the first half of the show. I'll throw out a prediction. She either is going to die in the first 3 episodes or she'll die in episode 6 or 7.
All right. Future note to editor: save this clip to when we watch that and then throw it in, just so we don't have to keep searching.
Yeah, 6 or 7 would put it at the midpoint of the season. Dark Night of the Soul for Cassian coming right after the death of his love. I could see it. I mean, if it's going to be anywhere, it's going to be in arc 2 or 3, which means it'll put it in either episode 6 or episode 7 or 8, maybe even 8. I'll go 6 through 8 is when she's going to die. I actually would put money on that over 1, 2, or 3. I think if we lose Vel, it'll be in early or it'll be towards the end, because I think it's going to spread out where we lose people periodically over time, like as the war goes on. Well, not the war, but as the rebellion builds. Bix, because of her importance to Cassian, I think she's going to die in episode 6 or 7.
Girl's not going to make it. Watch her die in like the last episode.
I mean, she could. That would be really sad though, because, okay, this isn't a soapbox. I am going to put on my shipper hat. Jyn Erso and Cassian, there was so much going on there. They were eye fucking each other all over Yavin 4. Like, it was crazy. My camera just died.
Wow.
I'm back.
Hi, welcome back. How was your trip?
It was good. I walked around this stupid table. What the fuck was I talking about?
Vix dying.
Yes. We talked about Valencinta. We talked about people dying. Guys, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Megan and I can't remember what I was talking about because I had to reset my camera. So I think that thought is dead in the water, guys. I'm so sorry.
Do we wrap here?
Yes. Let's wrap up here because as of right now, I am 30 minutes away from it being April 22nd because we record at night. Fun fact for you guys.
We have full-time jobs.
We have full-time jobs and other shit we have to do. So thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you in our next watch of Andor Season 1, Episode 10, One Way Out, my favorite fucking episode. I'm so excited. We will see you guys there.
See you then.
Bye! Is she coming?